Hello, hello, Samara Stone here. Listen, today's conversation is one that is really near and dear to my heart because this is something that holds therapists back so often from really showing up as experts and doing the best work that they can in the field. This conversation today is about imposter syndrome. Now, I want to open by saying this one thing, and I hope you believe me. If you don't, by the time we end this video, I think that you will. True imposters rarely experience imposter syndrome. The folks that are actually imposters are not worried about being imposters. So the fact that you are even thinking that maybe you don't have what it takes, or maybe you don't know enough, and the fact that you're allowing that to stop you from showing up is your number one telltale sign that you, in fact, are not an imposter. Some of us have this feeling that we just need one more certification, one more CEU, a whole nother degree, perhaps, or a string of alphabets behind our letters, our name, to be qualified to show up as an expert. Listen, if you are a mental health professional that's showing up as a therapist, you have already been qualified. If you are a licensed mental health professional that has a private practice, my goodness, you are already a certified professional, right? So I want you to know that you don't need anyone else out there to validate your professional expertise. You know what? And if clients are benefiting from what you're doing, and if your colleagues respect you and others can deem you confident, confident and competent right here in the space that you operate, then let that be validation enough. Because who is the they anyway? Wondering if they will see that you're a professional, wondering if they will judge your content as not good enough. I don't know who they is, but I guarantee you the they is not the people that are going to benefit most when you start really showing up and doing work that you can do in this field. So the fact that you're concerned about the quality of your work, the fact that you are committed to being excellent in the things that you deliver automatically means that you are not an imposter. I just want you to let that sink in for a moment because generally people that are imposters, they don't have a problem showing up and being incorrect, delivering opinions that are not based on any kind of professional training or expertise. They don't worry about being helpful, and sometimes they don't even worry about being ethical. Seriously, they don't even think about whether or not what they're offering will consistently deliver results or be harmful to people, right? I have seen folks that are not mental health professionals delivering a whole bunch of mental health advice without even knowing how this is landing or who they're talking to or even what kind of impact their words are going to have. And the saddest part is that those voices are quite loud, but the voices of the actual mental health professionals that have so much to offer, we're quietly in the back rewriting what it is we want to talk about. Okay. So the time that you're spending second guessing yourself, the time that you're spending wondering whether or not you got what it takes, other folks who are less qualified are posting and sometimes misguiding the very people that need you the most. So with these years of expertise that you had, there is no way that you could be an imposter, right? So I really want to just encourage you to just put yourself out there because oftentimes the professionals that have what it takes are the ones most worried about perfection. We want to be seen as above reproach. We want to neutralize ourselves from the judgment. We don't want people questioning us or saying that we've not done our research or that we don't know what we're talking about. We don't want to be seen as incompetent. I could go on and on with the list of things that pop up in someone's mind when they become hesitant to really put themselves out there. I especially think that people don't want to seem unprepared or somehow like they are fraudulent or doing something that's less than professional. Just know, even if somebody questions what you have to say, that doesn't mean that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. It doesn't mean that you're not delivering something that is a qualified opinion. The nature of social media and blogging and all this internet conversation that we have is that there are going to be a variety of naysayers and trolls and all kinds of folks that may even overtly attack your content. And that still doesn't mean you're an imposter. right? And so we want to kind of help you to get a way to neutralize yourself from the response that you might get when you first start putting yourself out there, because it is hard once you've kind of worked through and built up the courage to go ahead and put your opinions out there, or put your professional expertise out there. And then if people begin to, have a lot of negative things to say, that can really, really discourage you from showing up again. But I want you to just in your mind be prepared for the pushback and know that honestly, somebody speaking about your opinions or commenting on your opinions is engagement. It's a way for folks to really it makes sure that people are listening to what it is that you have to say, and that they're taking it seriously, and that they're coming back with a retort. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, and you can decide how you're going to engage, especially if people are being over the top and outlandish. You don't have to allow yourself to be abused. But at the same time, you can make space for people to disagree with your opinions. That might be a space where you can educate them why you have the perspective that you have. Remember, not everybody is a mental health professional that's been trained the way that you have. And so if you have an opinion and someone disagrees with it, and that's an opportunity for you to enlighten them the further, be willing to do so. So here's what I want you to know for sure. Be brave enough to own your own voice. The thing that you're hiding is the thing that people are waiting for. And what you're shrinking away from is the very thing they most need. And so when that imposter syndrome, rears its head, I want to give you some things that you can do to push past. The first thing is, and this is just, I'm always thinking about the connection between how we show up in life and how we show up in business, because oftentimes there is some synchronicity between those two. So ask yourself this: are there other areas in life where you're not speaking your truth, where you're not really showing up fully and saying what you need to say? Practice using your voice in other areas of your life, really making sure that you're able to be comfortable saying what you think, because your truth, your opinions, they are valid, and people need to hear your voice. And so if there's not people in your daily life, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, if you don't feel comfortable using your voice there, it's going to make it even more difficult for you to use your voice when it comes to showing up as an expert in the professional space. So practice there. Start small. Speak your truth quietly but consistently. Now, another thing I recommend for folks struggling with imposter syndrome is to keep a copy of your accomplishments nearby. Continually remind yourself of who you are, the things that you have already accomplished in the field, and know for certain that you have what it takes to make this happen, just like you've already made happen some of the other goals you've checked off your list already. Right? So create for yourself a mantra, perhaps one that says, that speaks about the clients who are benefiting from what it is you have to say. Or maybe you could build an affirmation for yourself why your voice is valuable. Do things that are going to build you up internally, so that when it's time for you to stand there as an expert, you have some resources that you can draw from. Now, another thing I want to just put out there: it does not have to be perfect. Done is better than perfect. Even in today's video, you've probably seen me stumble over a word or two. It doesn't mean that it's not valuable things that I'm able to offer. And keep the same thing in mind for you, right? Push send on that email, publish that blog post, go ahead and do it. Put yourself out there, because people are waiting to hear your voice. Now, another piece that I want to say that I think stands in the way of, feeling like an imposter or feeling like you're not good enough to get it done is comparing yourself with people who've been doing this for quite some time. So if this is your very first time going live, you may not want to compare yourself against someone who's been going live every week for the past 3 years, right? Your fresh out the bricks is not going to be the same as their fourth lap around. So give yourself some time to gain momentum, to find your own stride, to figure out what's going to work for you. It's just not fair to compare yourself to someone else who's further along in their journey, right? Give yourself an opportunity to grow. So if you find yourself continually struggling when you're looking at other people's stuff, guess what I want you to do? Stop looking at it. Instead, focus on you and give yourself what you need to grow your confidence. Give yourself time to develop clarity. And then I want you to practice using your voice, putting yourself out there, and standing up in the expertise that you have earned over your years in this field. All right. Listen, if you have not already subscribed to our channel, you know it's time. Go ahead and click subscribe because we are going to continually be offering you content that helps you take good care of yourself, take good care of your clients, and of course, take good care of your business. See you next time.